It is 7 o'clock. Give me 1 moment to start the recording.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our regular Lodi Planning Commission meeting. Today is December 10th, 2025. Jessica, let's have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Deal,
Here.
Commissioner Eddy,
Here.
Vice Chair Singh,
Here.
Chair Hicks is not present. Commissioner Whale,
Here.
Commissioner McNichol,
Here.
Commissioner Leiden.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Okay. Everyone get a chance to read the meeting minutes or any comments?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
A second.
Okay. Let's have a vote on it.
Commissioner Deal,
Yes.
Commissioner Eddy,
Yes.
Vice Chair Singh,
Yes.
Commissioner Whale,
Yes.
Commissioner McNichol,
Yes.
Commissioner Leiden.
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Okay, let's move to the third agenda item, comments by the public, non-agenda items. Open to the public, right?
Yes, but I don't think we have anybody here.
No.
All right. So let's move on to agenda number 4, public hearing. Request for the Planning Commission to approve a use permit to authorize a type 41 ABC license for non-sale beer and wine sales at Guantonio's Restaurant expansion located at 606 West Lockford Street, located next door to the original location applicant. Guantonio's Wood Fired Cuisine LLC, file number 2025-016U, CEQA determination exempt per section 15061B3. So Cynthia, you have the floor now.
If I may, Chair Singh, I need to announce that I need to recuse myself from this agenda item. The property owner is a client. I've had no business dealings with the applicant, but I talked with city staff and felt it was best for me to recuse myself.
Okay, all right, here's, excuse. Right,
Okay, we will proceed. I'll proceed with the presentation. Good evening, Commissioners and Vice Chair Singh. This item before you, as you mentioned, is for a use permit for a Type 41 ABC license located at 606 West Lockford Street. The request is for a license to expand an existing restaurant into this space next door. The existing conditions here, you can see, many of us are familiar that Guantonio's is an established high-demand local restaurant. They have long-standing successful business at the site here on the corner of Lockford and North California Streets. The current demand frequently results in customers queuing and congregating at the front entrance during peak hours, as you can see in this photo to the right. So the expansion will allow them to improve both safety and circulation. The expansion will increase the kitchen and pizza preparation capacity next door, and then also add 30 indoor seats, allowing patrons who are currently waiting outside or near the entrance to be accommodated indoors. This redesign and expansion next door would be intended to reduce crowding at the front and improve pedestrian safety and operational efficiency. It would also allow the orderly pickup for their to-go pizzas, which have become pretty popular and have become part of the, I think, contention with neighbors as far as traffic. A lot of folks are there to pick up their pizzas to go. So this will enable a little bit of a more of a streamlined process for folks to get in and out with their takeout service, shorten wait times, reduce congestion along the frontage. And because the expansion occupies a separate parcel next door, a new use permit is required. So this would be the same business expanding next door. The only difference is if it was one parcel, they would not be required to be here today. And because it's 2 parcels and 2 addresses, that is why this item is before you. As you can see in the aerial here, the existing restaurant is at the corner of California and Lockford. And they would be expanding to where that yellow box is, directly to the west next door. Surrounding uses are single-family and residences. To the north, south, and then to the east are a restaurant and personal services business, and single-family residences and duplexes to the west. The proposed project would require a separate use permit to authorize the expansion of the Type 41 on sale for beer and wine. This, as you can see in the image, the existing restaurant's kind of set back a little bit to the left from this angle. The expanded restaurant would be located directly next door. The sale of the beer and wine would be secondary to the serving of prepared meals. They currently operate pretty limited hours during the week from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., but this use permit would authorize them and allow flexibility should they choose to be open for lunch or close 10 p.m. as needed. So they don't currently right now, but typically we allow this flexibility in our use permits so they don't have to come back at a later date and amend their use permit at a new hearing. The pickup window that would be added potentially in the future would be on the west side of the building. There would not be a drive-through. It would be merely a drive-up, pick up, hand someone their pizza, and then they take off and leave. So they would relieve some of the congestion that has been complained about on the streets surrounding the area. And then there would likely be outdoor seating located along the front of Lockford with a fenced-in pen area that would also require approval from ABC with their ABC license. Here you can see the floor plan of the interior of the restaurant. The majority of the space, more than half of it, would be for their expanded kitchen area and a restroom. The front area or seating area, you can see kind of outlined in red there, would include 36 seats. And then to the right there along Lockford would be potential outdoor seating that they may install in the future. Here's the site plan where you could see where on the left side, where that outdoor dining area may be located. The area in red is outlined where there's an outdoor awning, and then you can see on the kind of bottom part of the image where that red is where that awning would be, or is the existing awning. If I flip back to the image here, you can see the existing awning on the right side of the image. That is the awning outlined in red right there. If they were to allow pickups at that window there, the building code would require them to move the post out about a foot or so to provide room for vehicles. So that may be an improvement they may optionally decide to do in the future. Otherwise, the improvements would require path of travel. You can see all those kind of hatched areas on the site plan would be ADA requirements for path of travel in the building code, and including an ADA parking stall. And there would be total, including that ADA stall, 8 striped stalls. The existing area is zoned MCO or mixed-use corridor. You can see the MCO area is highlighted in pink, and the parcel where it says 600, that's where the existing Guantonio's restaurant is located, and then to the left there is where the expansion would be located. The MCO zone is intended to accommodate a blend of commercial, office, and residential uses within close proximity or a mix of uses. The expansion of a successful neighborhood-serving restaurant within this district is consistent with the purpose of creating a walkable, mixed-use environment where residents can access dining and services without relying on their vehicles to drive to those places. As you can see, the whole intersection here that is in pink is zoned MCO, including the single-family homes, the 2 that are closest to the corner of Lockford and California Street. Not generally, but restaurants are absolutely allowed by right in this zone. The only reason they are before you today is to apply for the use permit to serve beer and wine. So restaurants are permitted, by right in the MCO district. However, the Lodi Municipal Code does require use permit for ancillary sale of alcohol. This would be compatible with surrounding commercial uses and consistent with existing and future development. The restaurant, as a longstanding neighborhood and community-serving business, similar to other restaurants in the vicinity. Alcohol service is incidental to food service, and would, as conditioned, would not adversely affect surrounding properties. And the ABC license limits alcohol sales. It's a type 41, which allows all ages and is tied to a bona fide restaurant or eating establishment where that primary activity is sale of meals. The PCN is a requirement of public necessity or convenience finding when there's an overconcentration of ABC licenses in a census tract, which occurs on all of Lodi. Then a determination of PCN finding is required. We feel that the economic benefit outweighs any possible negative impacts, and the project will support an established restaurant and their expansion, and that it will also help relieve some of the congestion around the restaurant by providing options for the pickup of pizzas, which have become very popular. When we receive these use permit applications, we route them to all departments in the city, including the police department. The police department stated that they did a check for calls for service. At this specific location in the new building, there was 2 calls for service in the last year for reports of transients and trespassing because the space has been vacant. They noted during the same time period, there were 5 calls for service at Guantonio's, and those involve similar reports of transients. And the police department said they weren't of any concern, and they do not object to the property being occupied as a restaurant with a beer and wine license at this location. Because the site is in a commercial area, it's categorically exempt, it's by right allowed to be a restaurant, therefore the common sense exemption applies under 15061B3.
For the commission's background as well, ironically, this building had been vacant for quite a while, but it was one of the longest-standing pizza restaurants in Lodi. So it's actually reactivating the old kitchens that are in that building for that primary purpose. And as Cindy mentioned, the idea is shifting the bulk of their pizza production further away from the intersection and into this interior lot. So it's actually kind of a renewal of an old use in that building.
We're near the end of here, and so your options are to approve as recommended, approve with revised conditions, deny, or continue the item. And staff has a proposed motion to approve, and we are available if you have any questions. The applicant is also available, and I believe a couple of the neighbors are here to comment also. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia. Very good presentation. So, any comments from the planning commissioners?
I have a couple questions. So there's not going to be a drive-through,
Correct.
but a drive up?
A pickup window.
Pickup window, okay.
Yeah, and the pickup window would require some minor modifications to the canopy size, so.
That's on the west side of the building?
On the west side of the building, yeah. Yeah, there's an existing door there. So it's similar to other local restaurants where someone's pre-ordered their pizza, and so they don't have to park on the street and get out of their car and potentially make congestion occur on the street there on California, or I think the south side is Carlo. Then they could just drive through the parking lot right up to the window. They say, hey, we're here to pick it up, and they hand it to them. So they've already pre-ordered the
Right.
pizza.
If you've been a patron of A&W Root Beer, it's very much like that, where the server comes out to the vehicle.
And then they exit on Carlo Way?
It'd be the reverse. They'd enter
Oh,
on
they come through
Carlo.
Carlo Way.
Yeah, and it'd be a right turn only on Lockford. Public Works would require frontage improvements to the slope of the sidewalk there and the apron and to correct the angle of the sidewalk for ADA purposes.
Thank you.
Cynthia, quick question. So there is no improvement part of this. I mean, the building is as is, they're not adding any, like a canopy or something, just.
No,
inside-
no additions.
Oh, no addition, okay.
Yeah, there, like I mentioned, there might be that modification, I'll pull the picture up, but the canopy on the right side there, it may need to be expanded. I think it's like 1 foot or 18 inches to provide enough space for vehicles to get through there. But I don't think that's on their priority list of things. I think they're, just trying to get into the space initially. So we would allow them, though, through this use permit, this use permit's primarily for the sale of alcohol, but in the future, they may need a building permit to expand that, this post right there in order to fit vehicles to drive through.
Okay, the other quick question, the one you guys have, they have 2 calls, police calls, so those are during there's a non-operational, when they were closed completely, when they got the call, so those are pulled out from the police records?
Correct, yeah. So they were just trespass calls. It was completely vacant, and so calls were for trespass. Oftentimes, the property owners call themselves, so those calls are probably, I'm guessing, were initiated. They don't say who called, but that's often the case if their trespass calls are usually called in by the property owner or business owner.
Thank you. So should be open to the now public, or before we bring the applicant? Cynthia?
Any other questions?
Any questions?
Vice Chair, any other questions from the rest of the commission to staff?
No, I guess I asked already. Anyone has any other questions? No?
Okay.
I'm good.
So let's open to the public. Anyone would like to comment?
We can call the applicant forward if you'd like,
Please.
or however. Historically, the applicant would come up, and if you have any questions to the applicant, we can address those. If you have none,
Okay,
then we can go to the public.
okay. Please, applicant, come to the podium. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Marissa Guantone, and I am one of the one of the members of the ownership. And we just say thank you for the opportunity to let us speak. We are excited about the excitement of the expansion. I have brought with us all of the license for all of our current employees to show that we have been in compliance with ABC license on the current building that we have. And just thank you. We're excited.
Okay, that's good. So what kind of experience you have? Like how many partners you have? All they have experience in this business, or?
Yeah,
They've been running
yeah,
it?
we are owner operated. So all 4 of us work in the restaurant. Yeah,
Yes.
family owned and operated.
So you know the rule and everything of who to serve the alcohol or not, all
Yeah,
this,
yeah. So all of the servers on the floor, anyone that carries alcohol, we have to have a responsible beverage service license, and we're all licensed. And if you would like to see a document of everyone that is licensed, I brought it with me today, but
Thank you. Anyone else has any questions?
The original facility, there's a kitchen in there. Is that still going to be used as a kitchen, or is everything moving over to the new facility?
no, the original, like the Guantonios where it is.
Yes.
That is still going to be there.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's really no changes to that building?
No.
Just, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess, thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
all we have.
Yeah.
I guess now we can open to the public.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone from the public, any comments? Please come on the podium. Say your name, address. We normally give about 5 minutes.
Yes,
Max?
yes.
You have 5 minutes, ma'am.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
My name is Deborah Tovar. My name is Deborah Tovar, and I reside at 211 North California Street, and I represent 211 North California Street and 609 Carlo Way. They are ill in the hospital, and they wanted me to speak. And we have had a lot of problems with the restaurant being a community. And I'm disabled, and if I leave my house in the afternoon and I come home, I have no parking. I've witnessed other people pull their tailgate open, eat pizza, and drink wine in the neighborhood. And it's been a free-for-all ever since they came in. And I've been there for a long time. I've seen people come and go out of the neighborhood. I've even had some of their customers knock on my door because I am close to the restaurant. And I just would like to see some permit parking and some more cooperation with the restaurant. Be a little bit more friendlier to the neighbors because they have overtaken the neighborhood. My house is only like three houses away from the restaurant, from Lockford and California Street. So thank you for listening to me. I could go on, but I only have 5 minutes, but I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Thank you for your concern, ma'am. Anyone else, please?
Hi, my name is Sarah Okazaki, and I reside at 224 North California. I'm directly right across the street from the restaurant, and there has been a definite parking problem since day one. When they originally opened, I went over to talk not to the senior, but the younger Nick, and my husband was dying, and we had a hospice there 3 nights a week. And I asked them, please do not park in front of my house. They told us, the Planning Commission told us they would not park in front of our homes. We had an employee problem. It took a year for them to get the employees to park over in the barking dog lot. They block our driveway. We call the police, no response. There's been 1 ticket in my driveway, and I've called the police at least 10 times. So how the police, or you get information that the police are not getting calls, that is not correct. They block driveways, they throw garbage in our yards. It's a nuisance. They're very popular. And if I wouldn't have had a run-in with the one gentleman over my husband where he says, I don't care about your hospice, and it's a public street, well, then he shouldn't have sat and told the Planning Commission that they wouldn't park in front of our homes. I know it's a public street, but you know, they have the lot behind the new place that they're gonna move, and I know that's gonna be approved. We're just asking for parking permits. We were told if we got 75% of the neighborhood that went down to Locust Street, over to Rose, all Carla Way, and Lockford Street, to Rose, that we would get parking permits. It took me 3 months to walk that neighborhood, and they wanted 75%, we got 70% of the neighbors to sign a thing, and the Planning Commission and the Public Works, Mr. Swimley, would not pursue and send it to the council because that would put them out of business. You know, parking's a big issue there. That's a busy corner. There's a lot of residents, and not a lot of residents eat at that restaurant. If I can get that many % of people to sign it's so frustrating. They're not neighborhood friendly whatsoever. So anything you can do to get us where we can advance to the council, talk to the new guy or the new person in Public Works, we need something done. And all that 70% of people aren't really pursuing because they don't think the city will help us. But at least there's 4 or 5 properties that we're representing tonight that we want parking permits. You know, it's sad when you come home and you have two cars they're single driveways, most of them. You have two cars in your driveway and there's no place to park. You know, you have to walk 2 blocks. So anyway, thank you for listening. I've been here before and I've got nowhere. So I'm just reaching out. We need help in the neighborhood. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your concern. Anyone else from the public? Comments? John, have you ever looked into that? I mean, they have any issues around that area, or do we have part of the, before, I mean, any complaints?
Yes, if you recall, when the original license was applied for several years ago, we had neighbors there present for that in discussion. We did have Public Works go out. We did have PD go out. We had undercover PD, new police candidates that were ununiformed driving just to see if there were compliance concerns. It became a bit of a battle between the neighbors and the operator, but no one could find a violation. There was one case, I think, as Mrs. Zaki said, where there was an individual whose front of their car was like slightly into the apron into her garage, and that was, or into her driveway, and that was cited. But that was the only offense that they were able to find, and it was a series of months. We went ahead and did one further thing. We had our community improvement officers also drive that. It's not their purview to deal with public issues in the public way, but we had them as resources and as eyes on the street. And similarly, it was found not to be in a non-compliant situation. It is difficult anytime you have existing businesses in communities like this, in older parts of the city. But truly, the idea of a private business doing well, serving the community, it is very popular. I don't know if anybody's been there, but it's very popular. They used to be more transitory. They had their pizza services, and they would go around to farmers markets and all of that. So we were thrilled to see them settle in. And I think I would agree that there's been a lot of time and effort spent to try and come up with solutions. But when Public Works made their finding, it was logical, and so that effort stopped.
So those issues must be during the peak hour, like, you know, maybe lunchtime or dinner time right before that?
Yeah, they're not even open at lunch. They're I think it's 4 to
Okay.
10, I forget what it was, 4 to 9,
Okay.
so.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So I guess that's all from the public, so we close the public session,
Yes.
okay? Let's move on to any other comments from the planning commission or any questions before we proceed to the,
Can I ask the applicant some questions? I mean,
Absolutely. We
can I
can bring,
ask her?
we can bring the applicant
can
back.
we bring-
So,
can you come to the podium, please? Yeah,
can I do that?
sure, you can.
Well, I just make sure. So obviously, there's a parking issue in the whole neighborhood. A kitty corner on where that strip mall is. Have you talked to them about people parking there? And is that where a lot of people park?
That's where all of our staff park. We no
Okay,
longer park on
okay.
the streets.
Because there's probably quite a few parking places there.
There are.
So
And none
maybe-
of the businesses are open during the hours that we are open.
Okay. Oh, they are?
They are not.
Oh, they're not, okay.
They are not.
Have you talked to the neighbors on the west side of your new location? That would be 612 Lockford, and I guess that's 611 Carlo Way. Have you talked to them about, you know, what you plan on doing and that type of situation?
We have not gone door to door. The
Okay.
notices were sent out to, that we were applying for this, but we have not gone door to door.
Okay. So there is adequate parking across the street, kitty corner?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's it. That's all I have. Thank you.
comment. From what I can see, it looks like a good faith effort for a business to do an expansion that would potentially help alleviate some of the parking concerns that are being addressed by the neighbors. It's hard when you're in a fixed position in a neighborhood as a business owner. You do the best you can, but sometimes, popularity of a business, it's understandable that there's parking issues, that there's traffic congestion that wasn't there before. It seems like a best-case scenario to me. I understand that there are concerns with the neighbors in the neighborhood, but I think as the city continues to try and attract quality businesses and become a walkable downtown corridor, to bring in tourists and to create neighborhood spots that we want to go to and visit, it's going to create some uncomfortability, I guess, in neighborhoods that weren't otherwise occupied in those ways. And so I understand, like, the issue from a neighbor's perspective, but I also really appreciate small businesses making it work. So, anyway, it's just comments, no questions.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else?
I'm happy to motion if we're ready for that.
Okay, can we move forward with the motion?
Yeah, if you close the public session, then you can entertain a motion.
Do I get to read that whole thing up there? Awesome, okay. I move that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution finding that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to CEQA Guidelines, Section 15061B3, determining there is a public necessity and convenience served by the proposed use, and approving use permit PL 2025-016 to allow the sale of beer and wine under a Type 41 ABC license for on-site consumption at a restaurant at 606 West Lockford Street, subject to the findings and conditions of approval contained in the resolution.
Okay, we want to make a second?
I'll second.
Okay, let's have a vote, Jessica.
Commissioner Eddy,
Yes.
Vice Chair Singh,
Yes.
Commissioner Will,
Yes.
Commissioner McNichol,
Yes.
Commissioner Lyden.
Yes.
Okay.
Passes 5-0.
All right. So congratulations, so conditional permit is approved. All right, so let's move to the item number 5, planning matters and follow-up items.
Mr. Vice Chair, our next meeting with the commission will take us all the way through the holidays, so we'll be leaving you alone until the first of the year. We have a couple of items coming up in January that we'll be announcing for you and noticing you for attendance.
We would also like to introduce to you and invite up to the dais one of our new planners to introduce herself. Come on up, Raj.
Can't be nervous now.
Good evening, Commissioners and Vice Chair. My name is Rajni. I'm a new assistant planner under the Community Development Department. I'm happy to be here and happy to serve the city of Lodi.
Okay, congratulations and welcome aboard.
Tonight? Yes, great. Yeah, we're very excited. Our other planner, she was here for the Spark meeting earlier, but she left early. Her name is Eva Pitts, and she started not too long after Rajni joined us. So we're excited to have them and have some help finally on a lot of the stuff we're doing in the planning division because we're keeping busy on long-range planning. We also wanted to welcome tonight our new planning commissioner, Josh Lyden.
All right,
Welcome.
welcome.
I have moved to Lodi about 4 years ago. I am a president of the Lodi Lions Club, and recently we just did an upgrade to Emerson Park. I'm also a real estate agent. I did come from San Francisco, so I'm very up on all kinds of regulations that people have to go through, and hoping to just help Lodi grow sustainably and keep everybody that lives here happy while inviting new people like myself. So thank you for the warm welcome.
Thank you.
Can I add one more thing? John mentioned we'll be back in January. It's not till January 28th. Yeah, so the January 14th Planning Commission is canceled. Well, actually, December 24th, of course, is canceled. January 14th is canceled, so expect to be back on January 28th, as long as we don't cancel that meeting. so it's a tentative. One of the items on there that we may have is pretty large, and it may be bumped depending on some factors, so we'll see, maybe. But tentative for January 28th. If not, we'll see you in February, probably.
That's going to be John.
What year?
That's going to be John,
Next year.
your last month of the,
My last day as an employee of the city will be February 23rd.
oh, okay, another-
So we're planning on having a celebration the Thursday night prior. I think that's the 18th or 19th. We're just going to go over to 5 windows. And so I will be personally inviting commissioners and committee members that I've had the privilege of working with. If you want to come by, you can join us for a tip and a beer and enjoying that time. And the last day, full day at the office will be pretty much an open house. Just that anybody, within the city, anybody else want to come by, we're going to do that. So it'll be a non-ceremonial, but a really fun opportunity to just thank everybody for the opportunity.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely. How many years you spend now with the city of Lodi? 20,
the day I retire will be 6 years and 1 day.
oh, 6 years, but overall, okay, 6 years.
It was a 3-year commitment, and you know how those go. My city manager insisted I stay till 5, so I gave in to him, even though he left at 4. And then we had a change in leadership in the city, which ended up putting a lot of things on hold. So that's why it went from 5 to 6. But it's been a great ride. I'm excited where we have the department. I'm excited about the hoped-for direction and leadership in that department. I can't say for sure, but I definitely have someone I would like to see take that role. But it will be an interview process and panels and all the rest in terms of securing the next director. And again, the city, as you know, is going through a series of changes. Our public works director is retired. That recruitment is now open. Our city manager recruitment is going to be starting soon. So there's a lot of leadership issues that are happening all at the same time. But I think all of us, from public works to city management to certainly community development, we all have great support at that very next level down that is more than capable of taking over the ship and seeing succession happen. So I'm excited. This is my second retirement, so this one's due.
We'll definitely miss you, John. And
Well, I'm not leaving the area, just, I always threaten council saying I will be back wearing the aluminum foil hat.
That's good.
And I will carry a public comment card in every single session, whether I have something to say or not.
Good.
It'll be fun, yeah.
All right, good. Let's move to the next item, announcement and correspondences.
No announcement for you tonight.
Okay.
And actually, no correspondence with council. But as informational for council, we've been working towards several initiatives. Cindy can bring you up to speed on a couple of them, some of which will be coming back to you. But on a side note, we are working on permanent access center operations. That's under construction now, as I think you all know. So we hope to have an operator appointed by council in the coming months, which will help stabilize all of that. But in the interviews we conducted just today with the finalists that made the interview panel, I think we have a great crop of potentials, all come with good expertise and experience, and I think will be a great asset to the city ultimately in trying to help us with our homelessness concerns, which of course exist everywhere. But we've been touted as a leader in this entire county, and I believe it, having attended the Board of Supervisors meeting just Tuesday, and hearing statistically what's happening in all of our other sister cities in the county. And we are by far outperforming all of them in our ability to serve and get people back into a productive lifestyle. So it's really paying dividends already, and it's only been a couple of years as a temporary center, but it's made marvelous impact on our homeless community. So we hope this new center will only bolster that and lead us in a good path.
Thank you. So all those are like Harmony Homes and all completed, pretty much everything?
Harmony Homes, yes, it's been done and occupied for almost 3 years, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yes, and we have our Main Street project, which is a transitional housing project. We acquired one of the older buildings in literally the worst crime network in our city on Main Street. And just with the refurbishment of that building, which will serve 43 units of transitional housing.
Yeah.
So when individuals come out of Access Center and they've gained their sobriety and they have employment, it's a transition into housing. doesn't provide ownership, it's just stability. They're still case managed and all that stuff. And we have a great relationship with our county, who will be running that whole project for us right here in the city. Our access center will have a full medical clinic, a sobriety center, quiet zones for mental acute illness issues that are tied to substance abuse. All those services will be offered within the access center, all provided by the county agencies as well. Mental health services will be here, respite care, people being released from hospitals. So it's going to do more than just serve our homeless population. It'll also be available for the community as far as clinical services. So that's an exciting addition to that campus as well.
So John, anything changing with all the investigation for the funding for the homeless back, like down south in LA they were talking about? Yeah, they found some misuse of the funds, affordable housing for the homeless and all that.
You're talking about in LA County?
Yeah,
There's been, the only thing I've heard about that, I'm not following the cases or whatever, but the only thing I did hear was, it was a misuse of public funds. But again, that it's now in the hands of legal counsels, both with and outside agencies. And, but I have to tell you, we are, and you should know this, we are squeaky clean here. We have audits of our work literally every month, because we can't go a month without having a complete audit of all the financials. So it stays very busy. We're grant funded for most of this. And so the accountability on the grant side is also pretty onerous. But we meet all of those obligations. We're grateful for the funds we've received to get these done. Because really, except for a small percentage of our own ARPA dollars that were dedicated to the city, all of this has been grant funded. So we're not using city's general fund for most of this work.
yeah, most of the state funding has been, they're delaying a lot of projects. That's what I heard today with the state, and, they're shifting the funds towards some different.
Yeah, it's, it went from developing shelters to housing first.
Okay.
And while everybody agreed housing is important, it was kind of the wrong timing for that, because what the County Board of Supervisors just announced was a deficit in operational costs. And so now the next hurdle we'll all be facing is how do we attract dollars to be able to assist all these municipalities running these facilities that aren't in the business of being in the homeless industry, but nonetheless were the recipients of most of those grant funds. The private sector couldn't get those funding, and so we did, which then entitled us to have to be more directly attached to its operations. But again, we're not alone in this. All of our county sister cities and the county administration are all facing the same thing, as is every county in the state of California.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Can I add one more item? Our next meeting, our Madam Assistant City Attorney will not be with us. She will be on maternity leave. So we will likely have our Madam City Attorney back with us temporarily while Janelle is out on leave.
Okay.
And we're very excited for her.
Good luck.
When's the baby due?
January 26th.
Around the corner. Congratulations.
Congratulations, yeah. Good. All right, action from the city council?
None for you tonight.
It's okay. Action of the site plan and architecture review committee?
We had a meeting earlier tonight, first time since June 11th. So we passed a revision of some terminology on a project on the corner of Central and Tokay. It's a 2-story, 12-unit housing project, and we passed that 4-0. And so hopefully that project will be moving on. And that's what we met. And then our next meeting will be on the 14th of January.
Good.
Yes, actually, the Couts, Jack ended up selling that to Haggerty, who's a great company. We're excited to have Haggerty doing more and more work in the city. They acquired it. The condition that council member referred to is, commission member referred to as a change in condition of use. It was going to be developed as affordable because the Couts family has a pretty good reputation and history of developing those. Unfortunately, it hit the curve in our interest rates that started getting attacked, and it blew the budget for that project. So we worked on maintaining the life of those permits that were issued back in 21, or I should say approvals from site plan architecture review in 21. But they've now massage it adequately. It had to be brought up to a current building code, gone through 2 cycles, so we had to do that. So they just now completed that work, and we're looking forward to getting it built. But we had to change the condition to go to a market rate facility. It's still family units, and it still fits into our purview for arena allotments. So having the housing units was critical to us to preserve those. And so with Hagerty's coming forward to be willing to do the development, we're pretty excited to see that happen.
You mentioned Jack Cause, right?
Couts?
Couts.
Yeah.
The Couts family, they have a large winery concern. You may have heard of Ironstone.
He actually called me. He's developing 269 lots in Lockford.
Yes,
The development is pretty big.
Yeah.
Because he had some issues with Caltrans on the traffic, side. I said, no. I called 1 or 2 guys there saying, man, don't get into that. It's, I guess they were turning games on that. He's a nice guy, though.
very good family,
Spoke with him.
very good family. Yes, absolutely. We're excited to see them take that project and get it accomplished.
Good. Thank you. And comments by the public commissioners and staff, non-agenda items?
I miss Capri Pizza.
Yeah, they were a good pizza place.
The salad on Guantonio's menu is an homage to the Capri salad.
Tony and Emma, and
It's just not chopped, but it slaps.
I do have one item I'll share quickly, if that's okay. The San Joaquin Council of Governments is updating their regional active transportation plan. And that effort is currently underway. It's something I'm working on in my professional capacity with them. But so the intent is that creates additional resource and some updated planning guidance, particularly for cities who have not had the opportunity to undertake that on their own. So SJCOG is funding that with SB1 planning funds. So there's information about it on their website, but there's also a survey open right now, which is kind of the first public engagement opportunity. So see me after if you want to get any more information, but we would like to spread the word on that to get feedback, because I think the residents of Lodi, I think we have a lot to benefit from with that. So that's underway now, and they'll be out here doing some in-person engagement when the weather is nicer.
Who's the director now, SJCOG?
Diane Nguyen.
Diane.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, she took over when Andy retired.
Dan.
Yeah.
Andy was for the long time.
Long time. Yeah. That's where I started my career, was under Andy.
I worked with SJCOG when I started with 35 years ago.
Yeah.
1 year.
Yeah.
So he was project manager, so he moved up to.
Yep.
He's a good guy, yeah. All right, good.
Thank you. And happy holidays, everyone.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Gary, that's it? Right? So meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Well done.